Hello and welcome students. In this revision series, we are beginning with Module 1 of Life Skills course for S4 Civil, EEE and ECE. I'm your teacher Razaita Rahim, Assistant Professor in the MBA Department of Sri Narayan Institute of Technology, Urdu. Key highlights of each module or revision sections would be that I will discuss important topics in the module, brief description how to write, and finally give you the link to the university notes of each module that we are going to see in the revision series. So here we'll give you a link to the notes of module 1 at the end of the presentation. Important topics, let's see one by one. First one is communication process. So when you get the question related to communication process, you have to clearly draw the diagram of the communication process and then describe the process one by one. What are all there in that? All the subheadings, the messenger, the sender, the message, encoding, decoding, all those. Right. Next one is levels of communication. When you write levels of communication, mention all the levels, interpersonal, intrapersonal, all those things should be there. Channels of communication. Again, channels of communication, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, all those things should be there, right? So you have to write it. Do not confuse levels with channels. Communication networks. Again, the star network, that you have learned, the circuit network, types of network. There are 5 networks. Learn all those networks, draw the diagram, and then write the answers. Right? So you draw the diagram, underneath the diagram you write which network it is, and then write a description. Sometimes you'll get a question in which they will be giving you certain sentences like a person is being interviewed by another person. So what kind of a network is that? So you have to mention clearly what kind of a network is that. Okay, and then sometimes there are a lot of people doing group discussion. What kind of network is that? That is a star network. So you have to write clearly, go through the concept clearly and then answer. Barriers to communication. Various barriers to communication we have seen in the class: psychological, physiological, verbal, linguistic. Okay, all those things you have to write. Barriers to effective listening. Again, subtopic. Go through that topic in the module and learn that. If you have any doubts in these areas, please ask me. Next, letter writing. Formal and informal letters. Now, the format I had discussed in the class: how to write a formal letter, how to write an informal letter. Again, I'll be posting a presentation or a video on formal and informal letter writing. Please go through that. Formal letters, there will always be 2 addresses, from and to. Never write from or to as such. Okay, don't write the words from or to, definitely or purposefully. Don't write it. It's not required. Right, so follow that format that I have taught you in the class. Also, that format is there in your modules as well. Go through that. If you get a formal letter writing, please follow the format. Informal letters don't have a particular format, so you have to be more focused on the content of the letter in informal writing. Report writing. Again, report writing has certain sections. How to write reports. There should be an introduction. There should be a description of what you have written, explanation of all that. Then there should be a conclusion part, reference part, right? So you should know the structure of report writing. Also the stages of report writing. Okay, what are the different stages of report writing that you should go through and write. Now, non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, we have seen kinesics. Kinesics is to do with all the gestures, body language, okay, gestures, that is kinesics. Proxemics, how you use distance or position to communicate, how proximity you keep when you talk to people, how much level of proximity you keep, depends upon your relationship with the person and the situation, right? Chronemics. Chronemics again is a non-verbal communication where you use time, and it differs from culture to culture. Okay, so the Western influence on chronemics is that they give more importance to time, and there is a less influence of relationship there. Whereas in Eastern culture, we give more focus to relationship than to time. So when you don't come on time to office because of certain personal issue, or you're sick, or your child is sick, so in Eastern society, like in India and Asia, we will okay, give an excuse to the person, but it doesn't really matter in a Western society where time is given more important than your personal reasons, right? So chronomics is one of that. Next is interview skills. We have seen, I've shown in the class how to attend interviews, how you should be dressed for interview, how you should talk, how you should prepare. All these things we have seen in the class. We have had 2 days of session in the class. Remember that session, and please go through important topics like types of interviews. You have the panel interview, you have a stress interview, you have series interviews, all these things, go through that. Preparation, how to prepare for interviews, when on the day of interview, how you should perform, speak clearly, be confident, all those things. Then finally, follow up. Always after an interview, try to follow up with the employer after 1 week. If you don't hear from the person, please call up or send an email, and please follow up on your status of your candidature. Next is the difference between group discussion. Always, this question has always been asked. So group discussion and debate, there is a lot of difference between these, and we have seen that in the module. Group discussion means you're discussing a topic to come out, you have to have a solution to an idea. Debate means you're just arguing your statement, you're defending your statement. So there is no solution coming out of it, right? So more differences are there. Please go through your module notes and learn. Ensuring success in group discussion, how you should ensure success, that is another important area. So when you discuss, more ideas will come out, and you give time for others to clarify their ideas. Okay, all those things. Presentation skills. Now presentation skills is how you use presentation skills. Is not just PPT presentation, oral presentations. Okay, in general, oral presentation, how prepared you should be. You should do your homework, you should learn the topic that you're going to present, you should be confident and rehearse properly, and then you should use your voice, you modulate your voice accordingly. You should always be ready to grasp the attention of the audience. So all those things are very important when you have to do presentations. So presentation skills, what are the important things to look into? Types of presentation skills are there again. The netiquette, important area. Etiquette means internet etiquette. So how well or mannered you are when you are in the cyberspace. Okay, so you should not keep on trolling people, send spam SMS or spam emails. Okay, and then you should not post any violent or any racist comments on the internet, all those things. Then email writing, proper email writing, how you should write a subject of the email writing, what should be the tone of an email. If it's formal, you should follow the formal letter writing pattern itself, and you should always give proper salutation like dear sir, dear madam, and subscriptions, right? So thank you, yours faithfully, yours sincerely, all should be there. You should always write your name at the end of the email, and the subject should be clearly defined in the email subject box. Okay, the subject should be there, right? So these are the important terms, important topics that you have seen in module 1. If you have any doubts, you should ask me, and the link is given in the next slide. This is the link to the module. You can just click on this link and it will take you to the notes of the module 1 on the site online. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Please go through these important topics. Any doubts anytime, please ask me. Thank you.